Hello and welcome. Happy Tuesday. Some more Modern Warfare 3. Sorry, I got a little distracted there. I really like IRL Rosie. She's awesome. She messes with scammers. Uh, is it already ready?
All right. Hello.
Yeah. I gotta go back and process my other videos because, YouTube even suggests that, you should probably like your own videos and your own content. Because if you don't like it, how can other people like it? So, and if, at least if nothing else, you have at least one like. But, um, the thing is, like, try to wait until someone else, at least one other person likes it first, and then I'll like it. Like, I don't like to like it first. Not saying I won't. Let's see, we gotta get 3 levels. Let's go ahead and go on. Whoops. Let's proceed. Uh, anyways, we got a little carried away last episode, and we're gonna do the same exact thing in this one. So I'm gonna wait a little bit, so only the people that stick around for a few minutes will actually hear the secrets of the Switcharoo Part 2. So, and I might talk about. Well, if I say it now, people will be like, "Oh," people are gonna just like search ahead anyway and find it. But I think I want to talk about the fight with the Grapist. So thinking about just realistically, as far as attack surfaces go and as people that I've wronged, trespassed against. And that's not why I reached out to a few of them already. I still need to reach out to more and just apologize. And it's funny because it could have been part of the AA, Alcoholics Anonymous, because for a while there I tried that, thinking that there was like something wrong with me and I had to change. But like, alcohol is not good for anybody. And actually, I guess that's kind of an interesting thing to think about. Like, it's usually like poorer people, or the ends too, the poorer or the more idle-handed ones. But even then, like, if you have money, you can get out of a lot of trouble, or you can have a higher threshold of trouble before you have to go to like rehab or jail or something like that. Not saying it doesn't happen though. You got the Lindsay Lohans, you got the who else? Mark Wahlberg. Um, I love Mark Wahlberg. His acting is great. He's so ridiculous. Like, he's funny. He's like that short guy that just like talks bigger than he's like a chihuahua of a man, but like, and not in a mean way. Like, and I don't mean to rip on like small people. One of my friends growing up, I'm not racist. I have a black friend. No, but for real, I had a friend that I actually. Well, wait, whoa.
Eliminate all hostiles in the area. Grab the tag.
Okay. Also, sorry. Part of using the cannabis is it gives you the cotton gooch, so it just makes like your entire nasal passageways congested with residue. Although I still don't like hearing how like the tar and the smoke is like worse and everything. Although, and then even as I say that, I think that's kind of an argument for like we should be making cannabis more standardized and normalized, because then we can allow people to use water pipes more often. See, that's my biggest holdback, is like I gotta be discreet. It's like I don't smoke in the house ever. I feel like, and that's the other thing too, is like as long as you're respectful and people can't tell, like, and I air out, like I'm really cautious, there's kids in the neighborhood, so like if they're out playing, like I don't air out when they're outside. I try not to like, run the fan later. But anyways, and not in the house. So, but I don't know. That's one of the problems actually of legalization, is like we need to find more places to use in public, like designated smoking zones, like a tent propped up every now and then, or like a phone. That's what we could do. We could bring back phone booths, and you just go in there and you use your substances, and you leave people alone, and they're mostly in like the downtown districts, and they open up like when the sun goes down or something. I don't know. So.
Tag secure. Kill confirmed.
Almost. Always watching you, Kowalski.
Requesting recon at my
Or
location.
Swazowski. Never mind, so that doesn't even make sense.
That's our field upgrade.
But anyways, so the Switcharoo Part 2. I started to talk about it last time. No. Well, actually, let's back up a little bit. Predation. Like, the biggest things... Predation. Sorry, I bit my tongue there. Um, those are the biggest things. Like, if we could stop something from happening again, well, murder too, death, like making the ultimate decision for somebody and absolutely taking their life. That's even further. But predation also takes their life, potentially mentally, sometimes physically. You could damage stuff down there. But like more importantly, well, equally importantly, is the brain. Like any damage to the brain, like their, you know, their peace of mind, their sense of security, like, you know, are they always going to be looking over their shoulder? Are they always going to be feel violated when somebody just like brushes up against them? Like, you know, if they accidentally touch a man's hand, are they going to imagine like, you know, the horrors of being raped? Like, maybe, maybe. So absolutely, you believe it. So, anyways, and that's why it's so bad. And that was drilled into my mind as a kid. Because I was raised by parents that wouldn't have none of that. I mean, like, I don't think I actually got specifically a talk like, don't rape people, but it was, don't disrespect people to that level. Like, I mean, and that's just a given, like... Man, there's a lot of people. Okay.
Tag secure. Kill confirmed.
Oh, cruise missile.
Hostile cluster mine detected. Hostiles launched a cruise.
Almost. She didn't have it blocking her feet. So, her ankles. Taking out her ankles. Oh my god! Oh, I had the drop on him too. I just needed to aim.
Hostile guardian has been deployed.
Uh-oh.
Changing mags.
There we go. A little bit of redemption. Ah, Kowalski! So anyways, switcheroo. Oh, predation, right. So financial predation is also up there too. Scamming, spinning, political spin, like that's a form of scam and fraud. Like it's all the things that need to be accounted for. Oh my god. That's where it is. Wait, did they just blow up the jet? Ah! I want to destroy the thing. Like, I don't know how much it actually...
Ammo here. Switching mags. We're getting lit up through.
Oh.
Changing mags.
Hostile SAT incoming.
Ah. Ah.
UAV online.
There's just all sorts of stuff going on.
Hostile cluster mine active. They're getting hit hard.
Valentine. All right.
Hostile UAV in the area. Hostile IMS active. Friendly UAV on station.
Loading fresh mag.
I don't know if I can shoot it down. Ah.
We're getting lit up through.
And it's not really worth it. I mean, I guess it would be.
Enemy UAV active.
Although there's another one, so by the time it took me to get
Hostile
that.
mosquito is online.
Oh man.
Changing mags.
Kill confirmed.
Ah, I heard it. I was like thinking that, you know, don't go outside. You probably shouldn't go outside. What do? Go outside. Oh god! Wow.
Mission compromised.
I broke the window. Still got 10 kills, alright. Oh geez, the other team. Only 2 people were worse than me, and even on my team, wow. Yeah, we did not do this good. So, but anyways, I hate how cringe it sounds trying to start like talking about Christian stuff. Because I was raised Christian. I haven't been to church in years, if not decades, but not like, I mean, I agree with a lot of it. A lot of it's about respect, treating other people with respect and kindness, you know, trusting each other, to treat each other with respect and kindness, and be accountable and held accountable by the all-seeing, some form of accountability. So, and that's the same with Islam. I mean, they talk about, there is that form of accountability, that watchfulness of like the God seeing you, the Creator seeing you. And then it further gets crazy, like when you get like with Neil deGrasse Tyson talking about simulations, and then also, um, wait, who else I was just talking about? Rick and Morty. There you go. So Rick and Morty, like you can just portal away into multiple dimensions, multiple versions of Earth. Like, you don't need to worry about any consequences. You can just like, you know, go to the next version of whatever. So, and I don't know. I mean, if that was really a thing, then there definitely have to be some kind of governance on it, because otherwise you could like really mess with people's minds. I imagine. I don't know. Anyways. And then, the idea of spirits and ghosts and stuff. That's kind of freaky. Although if they are able to interact and they are observing and stuff, it's all the more reason to act in ways that you yourself, if you were a ghost, would you want to mess with that person? I don't know. I was watching Better Call Saul for like the 30th time, and that's one of the big themes there is they like take out the trash, the riffraff, where they're the law where the law is lawless, basically. And they try to do like the ultimate
Free for all.
oh my god.
Clear to engage.
Huh. Oh man, there's gonna be another one too. Ah! Or from behind. That'll happen too. Crossfire. Ah!
We're getting hit hard.
Oh, touche, sir, touche. He definitely got the hit.
UAV active.
Gotta respect when somebody pulls off the bow and arrow. Ah, everybody hurts. That's right, I don't have any allies. Every time, every sparkler hurts. Alright. Ah! Yeah, I got him! Watch this. Ah ha ha! I almost got him with a knife. I almost got him with yeah. Ah! Ah! I had a piece of hair in my eye. I don't know where that came from.
Not many ahead of you. Keep fighting.
So anyways, the
Hostile
Switcharoo Part 2. Alright, the people that stuck with us, there you go. And for the people that didn't, they're going to start timestamping this. Be like, alright, this is where he starts talking about it. So the Switcharoo, as I started talking about last episode, was where they would drug women and they would switch and assault other women. So they could honestly tell the police that they did not drug their victim if they were caught assaulting a victim. Which this guy was. He was caught on 2 recorded phone calls by the victims that the police were listening in on. And he admitted to them. They asked him directly, Did you know that we were drugged? Did you drug us? And he said no. You know, and it was the truth. He did not drug them, but he raped them. So, sorry, grape. I guess we should still try to keep it PG. But this is a game with a bunch of violence, so I like to think that kind of is like a blanket. Ah! But I could make this an 18 and up, you know, thing anyway. But if you're PG-13, you need to know these things are happening. Like there are ways that people put substances. I don't really even know what they are. I've heard GHB, but like. But I mean, there's other like, and some people even classify like ecstasy as like a day rate drug, like, you know, in which like. Yeah, if you were slipped X without knowing, it's like Bad Boys 2 with Marcus. Like he's rolling on ecstasy, which just makes you feel really good, and like everything feels good every touch, like especially furry blankets and stuff, and like, you know, and that's one of the ones that I think that should be legalized but heavily regulated. Like it's still very dangerous potentially. Well, and actually, the black market is what's really dangerous about it, is because people mix that stuff with like anything, even rat poison, like. Geez, 17 was second place, and we tied for it too. I guess I got a little bit, maybe, I don't know, but anyways. But yeah, so people do that. Not for long, though. I mean, there's going to be a few people held accountable. Well, I guess that's the other thing, too. Like, the longer this Epstein files thing plays out, where nobody really faces accountability for their part in... Well, I mean, first off, if the more horrendous stuff, like cannibalism and murders and like that stuff, if that happened, good lord, you know, like that's like straight to the gallows. I'm sorry. I mean, you can't be eating people. I feel like that should just be a general rule. Like, I mean, you know, unless they agree to it or something, I don't know. And even then, like, I feel like there's some kind of like ethical discussions that we need to have as a society to even know like if that's okay. But I mean, and I'm kind of hoping that like interstellar beings are like watching and waiting until we start to realize that the whole Jesus story or the Muhammad story, I guess Muhammad and Jesus could coincide. Like I think from my minutes of wisdom, you know, from my brief understanding from living with Muslims, it's they both happen, but like they just don't think Jesus is God, and so that makes sense. I mean, like the creator, like, you know, it just seems unlikely, you know. There's a lot of skepticism behind that. There's a lot of blind faith, and like, or they say faith, like it's like, you know, in Christianity you have to have that faith, so they say. But I don't know. But then there's also Arianistic Christians. I saw that, not like the Nazi Aryan, which is funny because it's how my name can be spelled. But no. It just means that you're still a Christian, but you don't believe Jesus was God. And I feel like that's where I'm at. But I'm also very suspicious of Christians. I mean, the Royal Family Jewels or whatever it is with John Goodman, and like, it's a great show, I think on HBO. My buddy let me watch some on his account. Because I ain't going to pay for that. I don't have money. But like... Well, neither does he, but he's like, life is short, you know, I don't know. But anyways, I was with him, if that helps. I don't know. And so much of that is like, I feel like there should be like charity ways of watching stuff, like the cheap theaters. Like that was really good, like, but there should be ways that like more affordable. I don't know. Money should just not matter as much. Art should be shared as art. I mean...
Enemy securing Bravo. We're losing Alpha. We're taking Charlie. Posting a decoy. We've lost Bravo. Got your cover. The enemy controls everything.
All right.
Taking Charlie secure. Securing objective Bravo.
Oh,
UAV ready to deploy. Friendly mosquito.
there's another person right there.
Copy that. UAV is on station. UAV ready.
He wasn't expecting.
Bravo.
Changing
Taking
max.
Alpha.
Oh, almost got him. All right.
Hi.
Counter UAV.
Requesting counter UAV.
Got it. Countering. Enemy securing Bravo. UAV is being a fuel. RTB assistance. We control 2 objectives. Objective Bravo is compromised. Get it back. Counter UAV destroyed.
Oh no! I destroyed my counter UAV.
We're taking Bravo. Securing objective Alpha. We control Bravo. Taking Bravo.
All right.
Taking Alpha.
So, but anyways, I think Christianity is like everybody needs to be aware of it, but they don't need to be force-fed it, and there needs to be a big level of understanding. I mean, in fact, there's even LGBTQ plus churches now where they do Christianity and they don't care about who you love. Love is love, and that's like the Colorado way too. Like our governor was gay, he's still governor for a bit. Actually, I don't know when. I'm a little worried about that. I like Governor Polis, but he makes sense, and he tries to make an effort to bridge the gap between Republicans and Democrats, and he does play more of a libertarian type. So I've heard, anyway. Like whether you agree with that or not. Like, again, I'm no expert on a lot of this stuff. I just observant and suspicious. No, I was raised to be suspicious, you know, and I did want to mention that, like, you know, a lot of who I am was because of my dad. I mean, he trained me to keep a watchful eye because people are shysters, and you got to watch him. He was a great leader. He was a foreman in a gold mine, a literal gold mine.
2 objectives. Get them secure. Securing objective Bravo. Securing objective Alpha. Objective
Yeah.
Bravo secure. Enemy secure.
Oh, dang it. So, but anyways, it's the Christian story is a good story. It's basically do unto others as you'd have done unto you. Like, treat other people how you want to be treated. Don't lie, don't cheat, don't steal, don't take shortcuts. Because that all goes back to treat other people like you want to be treated. Like, and just imagine if someone did that to you. Like, say, even if you owned a casino and someone came in to steal money from you. Granted, if you owned a casino, you're in essence stealing money from people. So there's a problem there, you know. Not saying gambling isn't fun. It is an exciting time, and if you're prepared to lose a certain amount of money, you know, then it's okay. It seems pretty harmless. I hate those things because they have such good range. It's like once it starts going off.
Taking Bravo.
Okay. Just prepared to like run if it was another one.
We're hit.
It's like almost musical.
UAV online. We
Alright.
control 2 objectives.
Yeah, I was actually going to be in the military, if you can believe it. I probably would have done some crazy crap like that, like as I'm shooting somebody. I was ready to kill people. I watched that movie 9/11. But I was definitely programmed and ready to go fight and kill, but I'm glad I flunked out. I was too iffy. I mean, not that like, I mean, I would defend this country if we ever got invaded. That's where I stand at. And again, because my dad raised me as such, like, you know, if somebody was going to come and like try to threaten anybody that we knew or cared about, you know, you take up arms. So, and that's also in the Colorado way as well. Like we're a stand our ground state. Or wait, no, that might not be true. But if somebody breaks into your house, you can kill them. Like, and well, I haven't checked on that a little bit. Actually, you know what? No. Hold on. If someone breaks into her house in Colorado, can you kill them?
Objective Charlie is compromised. We've lost Bravo. Securing objective Charlie.
Yep, make my day law. So, but you have to be sure that they are going to commit a crime. Like, so the other thing is like if somebody wandered in and didn't mean any harm, that's when you got to be like, wait, are you okay? Like, are you off your medication, or are you having like a rough time mentally? Like, and it's okay to say that kind of thing, and in fact you should, because you should get right to the chase. Like, you know, if somebody's mental or in a questionable mental state where they could be a danger to themselves or you kind of need to know that. So, like, it's fair to just say stuff like that, but you gotta kind of, you know, even as I say that, you want to be polite about it. You don't want to be like, hey, nutso, are you going crazy? Like, no, but if someone's in your house, like if they broke in, if like there's a broken window or like even a slash screen, or they somehow like breaking and entering, then yeah. But if you left your door open and they just kind of wandered in, like, especially if they were like drunk, I mean, and I'm not saying that's okay, like you still gotta handle that, but like if they came in drunk and it was an honest accident, because you know, and this isn't why, but like again, imagine treat other people like you'd want to be treated. So if you were drunk and you stumbled into someone's house and say you fell asleep on their couch, you would hope that they would be like, you know, who's this? And try to wake you up. You'd be like, hey, I think you're in the wrong house. And they'd be like, oh, what? Oh, sorry. And then, or hey, you know, who are you? Or like even just talk to them. In fact, I do have a story about that. I have a buddy that did exactly that. Nobody said anything, and he just went into the wrong college apartment. They all looked the same, and we were drinking. And he had been to my house. He knew what my house looked like. And the funny thing was, is like all of them look the same on the inside too. They have the same furniture. And that's how a lot of college housing is like apartments and condos and such. It's ah, dang it. So,
Ammo here.
but anyways, like,
I'll field up.
but if somebody broke in to try to cause me or my kids harm, yeah, I would not kill them. So I actually abide by the least to most resistance principle. I like the idea of like use the least amount of force. That's what it is, the least amount of force principle. But basically, just like calm down, try to de-escalate the situation first, figure out what's going on, especially if somebody's like on edge. Like you don't want to like push them even further on edge. Or maybe you do. Sometimes, you know, sometimes that might be better. But like for the most part, you want to at least start by trying to de-escalate the situation. But then you might go psycho with it. Like I've actually done that, where like I tried to de-escalate a situation that it didn't de-escalate. So I'm like, all right, I'm gonna take this off the rails then. But like, so then and people will stop. Like I mean, they'll switch up real quick. They'll be like, oh. The downside is they might actually call your bluff. So just be careful. Or just don't get into a situation where you'd be in danger like that in the first place. You know, and you do that by living the Christian way and treating other people. It's not just Christian. Like, I mean, that's part of like, it's similar to computer science proofs. And I remember having to learn those. I didn't really do too well on those, but the concept is that you can break a concept down to a small enough part to where you can prove without a doubt that it is and it always will be following a pattern or a... Did they just teabag me? Anyways. I think I saw my son teabagging someone the other day. I'm like, you be careful about that. You know, you gotta... But I kind of think it's funny too, and especially when I used to drink and play video games, which is probably not a whole lot better than drinking and going out in public. Like,
Securing objective Charlie. We're losing Alpha. Friendly UAV on station. Currently hold all objectives. Keep it all. Lost Alpha.
Don't kill our friends, Muhu. We don't have many.
We're taking Alpha. Losing Charlie.
ah!
Hostile IMS active. Enemies taking Bravo.
He was waiting for him.
Deployed a mosquito. The enemy took Charlie.
Taking fire.
Enemy securing Bravo.
Oh yeah, they saw my knife. Dang it.
Back taking Charlie.
Oh man.
Hostile IMS active. Securing
Uh-oh.
objective Alpha. Objective Bravo secured.
Switching
Securing objective
next.
Charlie. Taking Charlie.
There's another
Target
one.
down.
Ah, I got one, but the other one turned and shot me.
Enemies taking Bravo. Friendly UAV
Woo! 17 and I was the dead last one. That's alright. Wow, I had the least amount of captures and kills. Nice. Oh. So, anyways, and I know we just kind of rambled for a lot of that, and I didn't really go into it, but well, okay, so the least amount of violence possible. So even with the fight, I use the same principle with the fight. So I got punched in the head. Well, let's back up a little bit. So the dude had been stealing from me for years, and I knew. And he was talking smack behind my back, and I knew. People were telling me. They were telling me about the other stuff too. They're like, yo, he steals from you? I'm like, yeah. So like, I just, like, I mean, he also used to make money for me too. So it was like a catch-22, and I tried to basically like calculate in the stuff that he messed up, which actually that might be what caused some friction too. If I didn't tell him that I knew what he was doing, just took advantage of him back, but not a lot. Anyways, but he confided in me about the switcheroo. He had told me about how his frat that he was trying to get into, and he was like still kind of new. They would drug people, and then they would switch, and they would assault other women than the ones that they spiked the drinks of, and then it was like he was trying to gauge my reaction. And I was involved in a lot of cannabis stuff and like, and natural psychedelics and kind of stuff like that. So it was like I was kind of an outlaw without a choice, like, just by default because of prohibition. Even if you wanted that stanky, you were a criminal. So, but that's why like I was friends with and I have a lot of family that are law enforcement, corrections, and military. And so, like, they would, I knew through them that a lot of them used bud. They'd smoke bud, too. In fact, I got pulled over by a DARE officer. I had just smoked. But I wouldn't get, like, crazy and drive. Like, if I smoked and drive, I would make sure that I would be okay getting pulled over and do a roadside sobriety. I mean, otherwise I wouldn't drive. And I would make that decision, be like, am I safe to drive every time? And there were some questionable times. But like I've said before, one of my friends died when he was 18 because he made a questionable decision to drive drunk to go get more alcohol. And he was too wild. He was like, not wearing a seatbelt, got thrown from the car and died. Like, it was just like, he doesn't get to experience, like, I mean, imagine, I'm almost 40. Like, that's like, well, now we're over double that now. So, like, everything that he's missed out on is like what he lived, and then again, like, I don't know. Actually, that doesn't make much sense. It's been a lot of stuff, a lot of experiences that he doesn't get to experience. And that sucks. I mean, all because he wanted to drive drunk. And he wasn't even of age, so he had a buyer with him, and the buyer got injured too. And then he sued his family. It was all a big bad thing. But and even that, like, you lose a son, and then like the other person comes after you for some money because they have expenses.
Changing mags.
They were all AFK. I didn't find them.
Mosquito is online. We have taken the lead.
So, anyways, I'm doing tax stance now. I completely forgot. So, actually, let's do a full hour of this one, because I want this one to be, you got to be dedicated if you're going to watch this one. So, or well, if you're going to find the really juicy things. It's not that juicy. Like, people that know, there's a lot of people that know all of what happened. So, anyways, so he confided in me, and he actually asked me if I could get day rape drugs. I forget how he phrased it, but he wanted me to get him. And I don't even think he told me the names of them. I mean, I only found out later from this Southsider dude that I met. It was GHB, but that was like... That's kind of another funny story. We'll save that for another time. But it wasn't used in the way of a predator, though. I guess is my point with that. And he wouldn't allow it. Like, if he found out someone was using it to sexually assault somebody, he would be pissed. And that's how everybody is that's in a gang. Almost every single gang. A sex offender is garbage. And I love that. I mean, I don't agree with the theft. Like, there's a lot of times, like, gangs steal and stuff. That's not okay. But the Jesus way is you can beat the living snot out of a sex offender. I'm sorry. It's that one verse, you know, the one that, you know, it's in there.
Changing mag.
So, but that said, there is a clear problem of them out there, and I think a lot of that is actually misunderstandings. Oh, well, now hold on, because yeah, there's gonna be a lot of people like, wait, what? You know, they're like, send them through the wood chipper, and like, and don't get me wrong, I do get upset with them.
Getting lit up.
I don't think I ever want to see somebody go through a wood chipper, but like the idea of scaring them by making them think that they're gonna face a wood chipper, I think is what most of them like.
I guess
But I
Death
mean,
doesn't want us.
you never know. I mean, some people might take things literally.
That's our field upgrade.
Ah, I saw him too late. I definitely saw him. Let's try to. And do the veggie dance. I got that stuck in my head. It's so dumb, but it's so catchy. And do that, and do that, and do the veggie dance.
Loading
I
fresh
finished
mag.
him.
We've secured the lead.
Switching mags.
Oh, there's a sniper back there. There's someone over here.
You're halfway to mission complete.
Ah, come on! Alright, finish him.
Changing
Ah,
mags.
come on. Took my kill. Oh, it wasn't my kill, but.
Hostile mosquito online.
What?
Friendly mosquito active.
Ammo here. Moving to my mark. That's our field upgrade. Ah, scratch that.
Okay. And do the veggie dance. And do the. Alright, so, anyways. I mean, I was raised by a lot of people, like, I don't think they ever had to explicitly say, don't grape
Nice one.
people, but they were definitely, like, inferences,
close.
and I've had people talk about how sex offenders were the worst of the worst, because they worked in prisons, like, I mean, so they knew the hierarchy of prison was sex offenders of children are the lowest, sex offenders of women are the next lowest, and then thieves are the next lowest. And and domestic violence is also down there too. Like if you beat up a woman or if you beat up a kid, oh my god, like that.
We've lost the lead.
Like I think that's even worse than fondling one. But either way, that's all like the worst of the worst, and understandably so because they're innocent. Like they need to be protected, and they don't need to be dealing with that nonsense. Like just because somebody's all like can't contain themselves and
We have
whatnot.
taken
Like
the lead.
and that's why I don't agree with like taking kids to the Pride parade. Like, I mean, I agree with the Pride Parade for being able to exist,
What up?
as weird as it is and as, like, sexual as it is,
Enemy dirt.
that's fine. Just, it's not a place for kids. I would not take my kid there. And I'm fine with that. I support LGBTQ+. I do not support sexualizing my children at a young age. Like, now, teenager, that's a gray area. Like, you can let your teenage kid have, like, a sip of beer or, or a beer once they get, like, I don't know. Because they're going to be doing it anyway. Like,
Ammo
it's
here.
foolish to think that they
Hostile
won't.
That's our
mosquito
field
is online.
upgrade.
We've secured the lead. UAV standing by. Hostile lost the cruise.
Get out of commission. Loading fresh mag.
Okay.
Hey,
I'm gonna put mine out
requesting
there.
Counter UAV.
Got
Oh.
counter UAV on station. Front UAV is being
Hostile UAV
So, but
is
anyways, and that's the prison hierarchy. So, like, on both sides of the bars, they do not like kid diddlers. They definitely don't like, or well, sorry, it's the other direction. They definitely don't like kid diddlers. They don't care for regular diddlers. Like Bill Cosby's and stuff, raping people, putting stuff in people's Jello pudding. What the hell? Like, I don't know, trying to do a Bill Cosby impersonation. That was terrible on all our parts.
Hostiles deploy the
There's
mosquito.
so many bullets fired, and no real results.
We've lost the lead.
counter UAV is being a fuel. RTB at this time.
Just happen to see it.
We have
Huh,
taken the
bingo
lead.
fuel for the counter UAV. RTB I think is returned to base, but oh man. So, but anyways, that's the prison hierarchy, and that's why people could be dangerous, especially if I'm willing to testify against dude, which I am. I talked to the police in Fort Collins. That's where this stuff. I'm not gonna get too specific though, because that's really for. I mean, the police are already actively investigating this, and I don't want to mess with what they're doing. But I will say that they are looking for more victims. They are estimating. Well, no, they're not saying anything, and I should make that very clear. The police don't do that. That's not how they operate. They won't tell you squat. I mean, they just ask for you, and they recorded it too. Like, so my voice is on record saying that my roommate asked me to get date rape drugs, and that I mean, I knew how to get other stuff. That's actually common knowledge with the law enforcement. Like, if they run my name, they're gonna know, and if they like ask anybody who knows me, they're gonna know. So, but. So, anyways, but that's also why, like, I feel pretty confident that if somebody was coming out to get me, they would at least know about it. And I try to be careful not to insult, well, not to insult anybody too much in MAGA and the Trump camp. What's the daily? 33 minutes? I don't know, but I think I'm going to do another episode. We're going to have fun tonight. But yeah, because like, and not, so the fun part is thinking that predatory crimes are going to thin out or even just disappear. I would be totally happy, and that even goes back to when I used to play the Three Stooges video game for regular Nintendo. The whole point of the game was to save Grandma from the bank. That's it. The bank's being a prick, taking Grandma's house, and you got to save Grandma. So it was an awesome game. Actually, it sucked. I hated it. It was like purgatory, but I loved the idea, and I was so bad at it. And like, it was kind of one of those things. And same with Beetlejuice too. Like, they just got so difficult, and I'd try to play it, and I'd be like, this sucks. And now looking back, like, knowing what I know now about video games and tactics, I'd probably be a little bit better at learning what was supposed to happen. But, you know, and then especially like if you don't like to read, like sit and actually like read the directions. Oh, nobody likes to just sit and read, especially a spaz. But like, which turns out, you know, a lot of my friends and I had the ADHDs, the splintered attention, which I think we all have now because of devices and stuff. It's just the way we've been conditioned in the interconnected world. So. Sorry, I'm also just thinking about like ridiculous stuff. So, but anyways, back to the whole point of it, the switcheroo. So like, and that's predation, and I'm putting that on the website, but I removed it from the home page, and I tucked it into a sub page, and I'm trying to like organize the website a little better like that. So don't scare off people. Because if I just start about like, hey, here's how you save the world and stop crime and all that. But you got to do the Dolomite situation, the Dolomite response. Like Snoop Dogg had it in his Top Dog No Limit or No Limit Top Dog. I mix those up. But he has a skit where it's Dolomite, and he's saying, Dolomite for president. I'm gonna legalize, adult sex work basically. Sell it, girl. We'll sell. I'm like bleeping myself out there, editing, if you will. But selling their feminine wiles. There you go. And men will buy it, yes. And if everybody's in agreement, I feel like that should be fine. It should be like a well-regulated industry. And if the women want to make money that way, or men, I mean, a mouth is a mouth really holds true for a lot of people anymore. So that could be a thing too. And especially, and I say this as like, this is actually part of how we deter or even eliminate sex crimes. And this goes back to child predators. This has been an observation I've had because I've seen some. I've done some time, not a lot. And definitely not in prison, but I've done a little time. So, and I've seen child predators in their arrested state. Now, they're very mousy, very timid, and that makes sense because, well, everybody hates you when you're a child predator. I mean, I learned that quick. I hung out with gangbangers and murderers and all of this, and like and not trying to sound cool or Billy Badass, or anything like that. Sorry, I also try not to swear. I'm not trying to act cooler than I am. It's just a fact. Like, I lived with people that had done serious time, so and you learn things. You know, you learn respect first of all. That was, whew, I used to call everybody the B word. Do not do that. Just it goes back to Christianity, but even more than that, like punked and the B word, like, and even punked. Like I feel like that's like, oof, because that's disrespecting somebody and taking advantage of them. That is like hurting them with the intention of making yourself feel better, at least even for the moment, by disadvantaging someone else. You're punking them. So, and a lot of times it's merited. Like, I mean, it's a result of, you know, someone disrespecting someone. I mean, and that's, again, prison law. So, like, and that's the sad reality with a lot of people. They have to deal with prison law. And they get into some pretty gnarly situations. But it is like the ultimate judgment. It's like, you know, if you did dirty to people, you would get found out. And like, and again, I took a shortcut with one guy that I definitely need to make it up to him, you know. But, and I talked to him too. I talked to him. I tried to apologize, but I was pretty sure it was a recorded line, so I didn't want to say too much, make things worse than they already were. So, but anyways, and that's people. It's human nature. You know, sometimes people are weak, and karma will get you. I mean, karma's very real. Like people, and actually, we give ourselves away too. If we feel guilty about something, it's like, unless you're like a complete narcissist and you're just used to like getting away with things. Donald Trump. Which, and that's another thing too. So like I was saying, like I almost got into a fight with a white gangster the other day, actually a couple weeks ago. I challenged him too, because I was trying to see, trying to see if he would blink, like playing chicken with him. But he didn't blink. He sent me an address. He dropped a pin. So like, all right, you're serious. Well, just so you know, these are the allegations against Donald. Child rape. There you go. And if it's true, the guy I was talking to, because I assumed, I don't know, he had a lot of tattoos, and he said a lot of things that sounded like he'd done time, or he'd hung around people that had done time.
The enemy is gaining ground.
So I assumed that he had done time, or at least knew people that had done time, and like would at least respect. And I said, you know, Chomos deserve the wood chipper, and he paused after that, like he stopped talking. And I told him, because that's what someone that would go, that has been to prison or knows people that have been to prison would say. Now again, I don't agree with them actually getting a wood chipper, but I agree with doing a lot of bad stuff to them to make them never do it again. And that's why I want to do this, and it goes back to preventative blue teaming. If we could disarm the would-be attacker before they attack, before the damage is done, it's so much better than after the fact, onesie Tuesday, like, oh, I guess you got graped. Here, let's put you in some therapy and hope you come out okay. Like, no, that's not how you do that. Like, you fix it by you never let it happen in the first place. And I got a daughter. If she is ever assaulted, I'm breaking legs. I don't care. I will do the time for that. Promise you. But I would try to do the least amount of force possible up until that, and that's by trying to be involved in the community. I'm involved in the PTA. Like, I try to stay up in politics. That's why I argue with people on XApp a lot, but I try to do it respectfully. I mean, sometimes not so much, and I have a healthy stash of Donald Trump memes. Very offensive ones. In fact, I also got one picture of Tucker Carlson's head and a couple of in a nutsack as 2 testicles. And actually, so I'll talk about that eventually too. But back to the grapist. So, and he knows who he is. I mean, if he's watching any of these, he knows, and he knows what he did, and he knows that he's going to be exposed more than he already has been, actually. I mean, so I blocked him on social media, or at least removed him, and that's one of the signs. Like, and for somebody who is keeping an eye on somebody, because that's what I would do if I knew that somebody might be out to get me. I would try to keep an eye on them. And I have too. And I've had multiple Facebook accounts, I didn't do that much with other things, but but yeah, so I could like keep an eye and spy on people. Not a lot though, and it was really more out of self-preservation or just like curiousness too, being nosy, I guess. Like, you know, if we're being honest. And also, when someone blocks you, you close the door, I'll find the window, like kind of type thing. But again, that was back when I drank more. Younger, dumber. I like to think that. Yeah, in fact, I knew a guy that was caught stalking an ex, he loved this woman so much and was so obsessed with her that he like would hang out outside her window and just like watch her. Which sounds super creepy and like, hell no, don't do that. Like, that's messed up. But being obsessed with somebody, like, I can see how somebody would be like. In fact, I feel like we've had some romance stories where people have done creepy things like that, and when it's phrased the right way, they're like, "Oh," you know. But then if you really think about it, it's like, wait, that's kind of messed up. Like, especially a bunch of old like Shakespearean stuff. I mean, Romeo and Juliet loving each other so madly in love that like they took their own lives because they thought that the other one had taken their life, and that's like the ultimate like tragedy story. Like they were that dedicated, and I kind of. I hate to say it, but I was almost that dedicated to my first like true romance. Who this guy? All right. You want to talk about really upsetting somebody? I think this guy might have done something to her too. So that's why I'm never giving this up. But it doesn't even matter if he did to her. Like I just picture what it'd be like if he did. If he did it to my daughter, how would I react? You know? Put yourself. I mean, and my daughter's like still way young. Like you like to think, and that's why I don't like SPM now because he diddled a 12-year-old, and like, that's insane. I mean, the dude had money. The dude had clout. The dude could have gotten all the fine hyenas, no problem. Still probably can. I mean, to be honest, if we're being honest, I think he's got a lot of money still. I've actually thought about trying to like, see about using that as a tactic and some, but I don't want to work with him. I don't want to work with him. Like, I don't care if he gave me $10 million, 20 million. Oh, you diddled the kid, man. And he used to. I loved his music too. He had some great songs, and I loved how he stood up for Mary Jane. Merry Go Round is a great song. So I don't know, and I think, well, for me personally, he could redeem himself if given the chance, and I think he would. Well, I know he would. I mean, he's living in prison for what, 20 years now? Same thing. My buddy Chad died, and SPM Carlos Coy, he's been in prison for being a chomo for 20 years. Dang, that's wild. Actually, I think it was even longer than that. I don't know, but at some point, like, somebody was telling me, because I was listening to SPM, or I brought it up or something, and someone was like, yo, man, he's a chomo. And I was like, wait, what? No. Because he was, like, gangster AF. Like, he was awesome. But then, like, and I looked it up on the Wikipedia, the charges, I mean, if he's innocent, like, which I don't know. I mean, if he's innocent, that's terrible. But I heard that he was notorious for frequenting strip clubs that would have strippers that were like more like 12 years old. And so now granted, then some of the onus is on the owner of the strip club. Like you can't be having that to where it's even available for people to like, I mean, but then that's also like if you're too drunk or too impaired to where you're willing to blur your lines that bad, you got a problem and you need help. Like you need intervention. Hi. So, and I've also changed. I never really hated furries. I don't really understand the people that dress up like the dogs. Like they'll wear like actual like dog kink costumes. But you know, I also don't understand people that do any kind of kink, like that BDSM stuff. It's not appealing to me. It's kind of scary, honestly. I do not find it sexy at all. I'm sorry. I knew this one gal. She was amazing. She was an adult actress. She was in films and photo shoots that were amazing. In fact, she dated my homeboy before me, and he even told me about her. He was like, "Yo, dude, if she likes you, she's gonna get you alone in your room, and she's gonna have you pull up like at least this is what she did for me, you know, because we were trying to like talk and everything. And she would pull up her own videos, or well, pictures, I think it was. So, anyways, and she would show it to you, and then while you were looking at it, yeah. So, oh, but rest in peace. She's dead now. So, and that's another form of predation. The financial, actually, that does tie into drugs, lacing them with fentanyl and meth. We'll find you if you do that crap. We will find you. So, sorry, that's just like a quick aside. Like the good old boys, they're a rumored group of people that No, it's very real. There are people that cross all the different demographics and groups. Same with the prison stuff. If you get caught lacing things to the point where someone dies, that's death. That's death, homeboy. You caused the death. So that's punishable. So, anyways, back to protecting women and children. Oh, there's the 5-minute mark. We're almost done with this one. Then I'm going to step outside again. Because, like I said, I don't enjoy the cannabis inside. Like, and you really shouldn't anyway. Like, even if it's not in the lease, which it is. But if it's not in the lease, don't do that. Like, but at the same time, you got to make it to where people aren't forced to do that. Like, we need more places where it's acceptable to do that, so the youngsters can go do that. Not too young though. It's similar to the stripping thing. Like, you can't be having 12-year-olds smoking weed either. Like, that's too young. Well, middle school, See, I know people that started in 5th grade, but I didn't start till middle school, and even then I didn't really start until like high school. And I feel like high school is the appropriate time to where you can start experimenting with cannabis. I mean, because you're going to be doing it with alcohol anyway. Most kids at least try a beer in America in high school. So, and yeah. And I hope my kids, you know, they're safe and responsible. I know they'll at least make good decisions, but I expect them to try stuff at some point. I'm not going to act shocked and, oh my word, like, you know, I'm going to remember when I was a kid and hope that they don't do some of the crazy dumb stuff I did. You know, so, and even then, drinking. So, like, I think I'd be much more comfortable with my kids knowing that they were smoking crazy bud than, you know, getting drunk and being dangerous. Oh, and then furries. So I don't really have a problem with like most furries or Ethereans, I think they're called now. But like, they've gotten a bad rap for sure. I mean, because there's some interesting people out there that like, well, like for me, it's the ones that dress up like the dogs. It seems a little weird, and like when it's a kinky sex thing, then it's like, because again, if it's around kids, now if it's just around consenting adults, okay, that's fine. I don't have any problem with that. But once there's a minor involved, and then, because then it becomes a thing is like they can't really consent. They're very impressionable, and even like 18 to 22 still seems like a little too young, personally. Like, I think that, or even like mid-20s, to be honest. And if I'm being really honest, I'm thinking like 30, almost 40, because by that age, a woman's gonna be a lot less nonsense anyway, and I'm too old to deal with nonsense. So definitely the young, that's where you gotta be like, well, because again, like, everybody's against that. Nobody likes that. So anyways, the fight, let's see. So he punched me. I slammed him into a rack of bikes, actually, so hard that he had the impression of a bike on his back. He was showing the police and all that, like, oops.
Friendly ammo box.
Let's see, but then he choked me out. He realized he was losing the fight, and he was getting tired of it. And so then he put me in a headlock, and I almost blacked out. And that's when I went berserk. And so I grabbed a baseball bat and a butterfly knife. I scared the crap out of this guy. Or at least, like, I mean, I think he, like, realized, he was like, wait, I don't think he's really... And then there's one of our ex-girlfriends jumped in the middle of it trying to, like, separate us. And then, like, one of my buddies, like, tackled me and took the knife. So like, all right. And then I realized, like, you know, hey, okay, we need to be careful. Like, let's tone it back. So then I broke the baseball bat on a TV. That was one of those old sturdy big ones, because I was just so mad at him, and he had stolen so much from me. And he was a rapist. He was raping people, and that was what the whole fight was about. I said, yeah, what about the switcheroo? And he punched me in the head. Like, so it was self-defense. The cops even said it was self-defense. And so, but I escalated it AF, but AF. And so anyways, and yeah, and actually I had a couple of illegal weapons charges because butterfly knives apparently are illegal. And I also stole the dude's brass knuckles because he was threatening people in the neighboring complex with them. And they told me about it because I did security for our complex, and I was plugged into like the people that would watch the people like him, and they would we would talk, be like, hey yo, this guy's kind of acting up, you better watch him, you know, stuff like that. And so that dude was a sketchy mofo, and it proved that right. And he even stole $40 off of our neighbor's counter the night that I got arrested. But anyways, yo Jimbo, I'll talk about it more in the next one. Ta-ta. I'll see you in the next one. And like I've already been punished for this, so it doesn't even matter. Like, all right, see ya. Oh, wait, I guess we'll just let it run out because I'm gonna be in this round. Do 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 do. Oh yeah, and that's the side. Well, we'll talk about.